So I've made it to the gravesite of Al Capone, an organised crime figure and Chicago gangster, sometimes known as Scarface. He controlled part of Chicago until FBI agent Elliot Ness brought him down. So he was born on the 17th of January 1899 in Brooklyn, New York. He was the fourth of 9 children. He quit school in 8th grade and he became involved in small gangs and was later mentored by violent gangster Frank Yale, and quickly realised that violence would help to build his empire. He was brutal. He later started working for Johnny Torrio. He learned his trade by running errands and being a bouncer in a brothel. And he worked his way up the gangster ladder, so to speak. He committed his first murder in 1924. He was tried for that murder but was found innocent, only because the eyewitnesses were bribed not to give evidence. There's a surprise. It's all Capone family here. So when Johnny quit the business in 1925, after nearly being killed, he gave the entire empire to Al. Al, now being boss, killed other gang members to build the business even more. His violence peaked with the St. Valentine's Day massacre in 1929. I mean, it was reported that Al was at his Florida home at the time, but ordered the hit where 7 members of the Bugs Moran gang were killed in broad daylight. This, of course, drew the attention of the feds after prominent and influential citizens demanded they do something about it. So warm today, I can't speak. So in 1931, Al was charged with 22 income tax evasion offences. He was convicted of 5 counts. He appealed the conviction but failed. Should have paid your taxes, eh, Al? He was sentenced to 11 years in prison for the tax evasion and served 8 of those years. I read he was released because of his failing health. He left prison in 1939. Apparently he was one of the first American patients to start using penicillin after the mass production was started in the States. It slowed the progression of his disease, but obviously couldn't reverse the brain damage caused by syphilis. Anyway, he died at home in Miami after a cardiac arrest resulting from complications of 3rd stage syphilis. He knew he had syphilis because when his son was born in 1918, he was born with syphilis. Al admitted he had contracted it years before but thought it had gone away. So this apparently is not the original grave of Al Capone. When he died in 1947, he was buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery, or Olivet Cemetery, with his father and brother Frank. Unfortunately, it became a bit of a tourist attraction and a magnet for vandals. So when Al's mother died in 1952, his body was moved to her plot at Mount Carmel Cemetery. This cemetery. As I say, these are all the Capone family. You know, it's really strange being here. I've read so much about this guy. You know, you watch films growing up, movies growing up, don't you? And you hear about the mafia and the mob and the gangsters. And at my age now, I'm finally at his gravesite. Wow. So yeah, it's just plain on the back. But yeah, the Capone family of Al Capone. Just where I showed you was right there.